One. All right, and we are live. Welcome everyone tuning in tonight. My name is Justin Hammond. I'm the Recruitment Assistant Director for the College of Health and Human Sciences. Joining me tonight, we also have another member of our recruitment team, Kristen Olson, and a student within the School of Health Sciences, and I'll let her go ahead and introduce herself.
Hi guys, I'm Rachel and I am a senior in health sciences, pre-professional, pre-physician assistant here at Purdue, and I'm graduating in just a month, so it's really exciting.
Awesome. Also tonight, we couldn't have our academic advisors come with us, but they did pre-record a video, so I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves too and what it is academic advisors do here at Purdue.
Hello future Boilermakers. We are the advising team for health sciences. My name is Kelly Reed, and I've been advising at Purdue for 5 years.
My name is Sonina Hernandez-Mickelson, and I've been advising at Purdue for 2 years. We are excited that you've been admitted into one of our programs and look forward to working with you at your time at Purdue.
Some of you may have heard the term academic advisor before, but what is it that we really do? We want to establish a good working relationship with students to help them feel welcome at the university. We also talk to students about their strengths, interests, and abilities.
We help students create a plan of study, and we also advise on the courses that you will be taking. We also assist with academic issues as well as personal concerns. These are just a few examples of how we as advisors will help students and help you succeed while at Purdue.
During STAR, you will attend a welcome session from the College of Health and Human Sciences and from the School of Health Sciences. You will also meet with an advisor in health sciences. And you will also pre-register for fall classes. You'll have an opportunity to explore several resources Purdue has to offer.
We're excited to see you at STAR, and boiler up!
All right, and we're back. Thank you, academic advisors, for introducing yourselves. Throughout the night, I'm going to be watching the stream. If you guys have any questions along the way, go ahead and enter that into the chat. I'll do my best to get those questions answered live, but if I don't get around to them, I'll stay a few minutes after the stream to answer those as well. So we will go ahead and jump into the questions that we do have right now. So our first question is, what are your classes like?
Wow, so my classes have changed over the course of my 4 years just a little bit. So many of the students in health sciences, your first 2 years will be pretty much exactly the same. They'll be made up of big classes like general chemistry, general biology. You start with physics, you start with just kind of these big lecture classes that a lot of people take. And they do that because a lot of people kind of change their majors just a little bit, or they change exactly what they want to do. So if you're hitting all those basic science classes at the beginning, then you can still have a lot of options open for the rest of a couple of years left if you do decide to change your mind to just something a little bit different. I remember walking in my first day of school and there were 600 people in my big chemistry lecture hall, but
okay, there's not
cool.
Actually 600
not actually 600
in a class.
Not actually 600. It seemed like 600 because I came from a small school. But I ended up enjoying the class a lot, and I learned a lot, and you could still get a lot of individual attention from your professors, and it all works out really well. As you move on to your junior and senior year, you start getting into those classes that are much more difficult and smaller sizes. So things like microbiology or biochemistry, those classes are going to be smaller, and you start to really focus in on maybe the aspects of your major that apply more to medicine if you're going into medicine, or you really start to hone in on the focus of what your major is, and it's really exciting because you get to know the people in your major a lot better because you're all focused on the same goals and kind of maybe getting to the same graduate schools, which is pretty awesome.
So you mentioned that you can talk to your professors. If you're in a big lecture setting like that, how do you get individualized attention from your professors?
Yeah, well, the easiest way is to go to office hours. So every professor has a set of time, certain times of the week where they just sit in their office and they're open for students to come in and take any questions, like literally anything on homework, right before a test. You can take your questions and sit one-on-one with the professor and they'll help you go through it. They're always open to it, and they can, even if they're too busy and they have 20 students in their office that are lined up trying to meet with them, they'll make additional hours open outside of those hours so that they can meet with you and make sure that you're really understanding the material.
Kristen, did you have anything to add about what office hours are like?
Just that they're a great resource for students to take advantage of, and often students will wait until maybe exam time and then they'll try to, get to office hours and it's a little bit too late and, everybody's there. So definitely utilize them, throughout the semester, and also just to check in with your professor. It doesn't have to be that you have questions. It could just be that you want to ask them more about their research or get to know them a little better, because that can always help you down the road.
All right. So our next question that we have for you is, what other student activities do you do outside of just taking your classes?
Well, the main thing that I'm involved in is I am on the cross country and track and field team here, which has been one of the best experiences I've had at Purdue, just competing as a Purdue student athlete, and all the people that I've met through that and the amazing places I've gone to compete has been just incredible experience. I'm also an ambassador for the College of Health and Human Sciences, so I love to answer questions from high school students and parents and families, and just share kind of why I chose, why I love Purdue now, why I love my major, and hopefully convince people to come to Purdue. And I'm also a part of just like a couple clubs, so like Purdue Catholic students and the pre-PA club on campus too, just as additional resources to kind of help me go on to graduate school.
Awesome. So it sounds like you're pretty busy.
I am pretty busy, but yeah, I also have a lot of time to just go hammock outside, like on beautiful days like today. So
yeah, I mean, you can't see it today, but today is a beautiful day at Purdue. It's one of our nice days finally. Mm-hmm. All right. Another question that I have for you then. Research. So right now, these are students that have been admitted, so they're still in high school, and research seems like something pretty far away, but you can actually do undergraduate research here at Purdue. So have you participated in any of that yourself?
Yes, I have. Actually, I got involved in the Health Sciences Honors Research Program before I even stepped on campus. And this program started the first week of school, and it was a seminar that first met once a week, and it was a class, but it was just a pass or fail class, and they helped set me up with a professor in the College of Health and Human Sciences that was studying something I was interested in, and I ended up meeting up with Dr. Carlos Perez Torres, and he was doing research on radiation and pediatric oncology, which I thought was really cool. So ever since that first, couple weeks of school that we met, we've been working on projects together. So for the past 4 years, I've really gone deep into the field of radiation and studying kind of developing drug therapies to protect against radiation damage to healthy tissue. And I participate in the Purdue Undergraduate Research Conference, which is held every spring, and I get to present a poster and talk to other colleagues who are maybe doing things in the same area and learn what other students are doing in research on campus. And then I was also just found out that I am having one of my articles published, so wow. I get to have an article in the John Purdue Undergraduate Research Journal. So
pretty cool.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So take note, if you want to set yourself apart from those other students applying to professional schools being published, that's a pretty cool way to do that.
Yeah, and one of the best things about it is just having like one-on-one time with a professor. He's been like a big mentor for me. He's come cheered me on at races and just kind of helped guide me in the career towards medicine and answered all my questions, and he's been a really great support and helps me really dive deeper into what I'm studying past just kind of what I'm learning in class, but going beyond the classroom too.
So how'd you actually get your start doing undergraduate research then?
With the Health Sciences Honors Research Program. I applied, I think at the beginning of the summer, and I didn't really know what it was when I applied, but it turned out to be great, and I'm really glad I did.
Awesome. That's good to hear. All right. Next step then. So we've done our research. You're a senior now. We're getting ready for those programs. How do you prepare for the GRE?
Yeah, so the GRE is, for those of you who might not know, it's an entrance kind of exam everyone takes going on to graduate school. It's different than the MCAT, which people take going into medical school, but for PA school they require the GRE. So it's, testing over your math and kind of some science skills and reading and kind of your writing skills. So the best way to prepare for it is to do practice questions and to start early, because it's kind of like, the SAT in high school where you want to learn the format really well before you take it, so nothing surprises you. You want to learn what, types of questions are going to be asked, how much time you might have for each section, and the more you practice, the better prepared you'll feel for the day it comes. So I have this big 1,000 question book of GRE practice problems, and just like going through it is the best preparation before taking it.
And when do you take the GRE?
Usually they recommend that students take it at least a couple months before they apply to graduate school so that all their scores can come in. I'm planning on taking it in about a month. So I'll apply kind of in the middle of the summer.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure it's going to be loads of fun,
Oh,
right?
it'll be lots of fun, yes.
All right. So for a lot of students that are pursuing these professional programs, there's really no like one correct major. You have, lots of majors that you could choose that are going to fit in with that plan of study. So how did you land on this major? Why did you choose health sciences pre-professional?
Yeah, I really liked the emphasis that kind of the College of Health and Human Sciences, even in general, puts on people. And I really knew I wanted to go into medicine, and I liked biology and chemistry, and really liked science, and I really liked, compromising between liking science and liking people. And I really liked how health sciences puts you right into that, and you're studying things like medical terminology and anatomy and physiology, and it really is the best preparation you can have for going into like the medicine field. Microbiology is one of the best courses, one of the hardest courses I've taken at Purdue, but it was definitely the best preparation. I felt like I was in a medical school class because it was so applicable to what I wanted to study, and it was exactly what I wanted to study. So it really gives you like the best preparation you can get before going on to professional school, which is exactly what the major says it is. It's pre-professional, and health sciences has been a great preparation for what I'm about to do in the future.
So at least when I went to Purdue, I had some free electives to play with, and I could take some fun courses. Are you taking any fun courses, or what's your favorite course so far here at Purdue?
Well, my favorite course is probably different than a fun course. My favorite course is probably a tie between organic chemistry and microbiology, which seems weird because they are very hard classes, but I really enjoyed them because the professors were just amazing. They were so passionate about what they did, and they made sure that you were actually, learning and understanding material beyond that semester, and finding ways for you to remember it and carry it on to other classes as well. So those are my favorite. My most fun one, probably flower arranging. That's definitely my favorite. Yeah, you learn how to basically take care of, plants and cultivate some flowers, and then how to arrange them, and cool. It's really cool. A lot of people take it at Purdue. It's very competitive to get into, but it's just something for fun, and it counts towards humanities. So, and it was a 300 level course. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I mean, when you're taking all those science courses, semester after semester, it's kind of fun to throw in just an interesting course that you can kind of de-stress a little bit.
For sure.
So then, my next question is about study abroad. Is it possible to do study abroad while taking all these courses? And you're also a part of so many other activities too.
Yeah. I have never done study abroad personally, but I know a lot of people who have, and all of them have come back with just fantastic experiences, and really just kind of grown up as a person because they have to go out on their own in a lot of aspects, and learn a new culture, learn a new language, and there are so many benefits from going to study abroad, and they make it really easy here at Purdue to take a semester or even take just 1 week at the end of the year to go to Italy or something and take a wine tasting course, and those credits always transfer back, and they take away from your course load for the next fall even. So there's a lot of benefits to doing study abroad, and there's definitely time for it.
Kristen, I think you actually did a study abroad as
I
well,
did.
didn't
When
you?
I was a student at Purdue, I went to France for 6 weeks. I did a homestay, and it was just, the best experience. I can't even begin to explain how cool it was, and how much I grew as a person, and how much more independent I became after that. And it's really cool to be able to speak another language in a classroom, but it's totally different to be learning more and more of it each and every day, going to class, walking around with classmates, living in somebody else's house, and just hearing how they interact with each other. So study abroad can be definitely more than a language. So Justin, I know you have an experience as well.
Yes, unfortunately I talk about it quite often. So she's heard plenty about it. But When I went to college here at Purdue, I actually did a Maymester in Tanzania. So as soon as my classes ended in May, I went abroad for a month. You come back in June, you still have time to take summer classes, internships, things like that. But for my study abroad, even though it was in Tanzania, I didn't need to speak Swahili for it. So we kind of had like informal study sessions beforehand where we kind of brushed up on the language. I definitely learned my animals because the last 3 days of my study abroad, we got to go on safari. So I did a day in Ngorongoro Crater and 2 days on the Serengeti. So I had a pretty kind of wild experience. Not all of them have to be that wild. Some of them you'll partner with an institution and you'll take credits at their institution and get Purdue credits for them. Where I went, we didn't even have electricity, let alone an institution, so we brought our faculty with us. So there's quite a large range of study abroad options at Purdue. We actually have over 400 programs. So if it's nothing that you haven't considered before, I would say keep an open mind because there's some pretty cool programs out there.
Definitely. I usually tell students there's about probably maybe 4 different types of study abroad. One would be a homestay like I did, or maybe living in a city and learning the language. Another is more like traveling and touring around like Justin did. But you can also do something like an internship abroad or even research abroad. So there's lots of different experiences, and again, with and without language components.
I did 3 days of touring around. The rest of the month was a lot of work. All right, well, that's all the time that we have tonight. Thank you so much for guests stopping by, and thank you so much, everyone tuning in today. Have a good day, and boiler up.